you don't hear about what's going on after. You only hear about what happened during.
The recovery is a marathon and not a race. And you have to keep running that marathon, unfortunately.
We're becoming a trauma nation.
In the future, when there's so many people that we're going to meet, like the odds of meeting someone else who went through something like what we went through is very likely.
Yeah.
Because they happen so often.
What do you experience when you're seeing those images and reading those headlines?
It's a trip back to where I was 21 years ago. Every time I'm that scared 17-year-old who was trapped in a room for 4 hours. It was 8 years later, and I had no clue what was wrong. I went to a therapist, and with 2 minutes left in the session, I said, "Oh, I'm a Columbine survivor, but I don't know what impact that has."
When the news cycle is done, you have years of pain and years of healing still to go. I still have a bullet in L1, so I technically am still in the healing process.
There are more communities that have to join that tragic bond that we all have.
Many students don't realize how traumatized they actually are, and they kind of just brush it off because maybe someone went through it a little worse than they did.
You're in such a rush to get back to normal life and not let this stuff impact you that you don't realize how traumatized you are.
What resources did you guys have when you were ready to start that healing process?
We had discounts on therapists, but therapy is still very expensive. You need to talk to someone who is trauma informed.
When Columbine happened, they expected us to be healed in 3 years.
Wow.
There was no therapist that my insurance would cover that could deal with pediatric trauma cases.
The fact that they're saying, oh, we need to talk about mental health now, and then they're relating it to a person who went and did something terrible, makes it feel like anyone who has a mental illness is terrible.
I actually had a survivor say, well, I'm a little embarrassed to say that I was shot.
What did you feel like you needed more of?
We provide a resource to our community. Mm-hmm. We have a camp. It's a Healing through the Arts camp, and
it's free.
It's for free. And we have therapists who also, they know they're trauma informed.
When the Aurora Theater shooting happened, a dear friend of mine named Heather Martin and I co-founded a nonprofit to help address the ongoing needs and mental health needs of these survivor communities.
We funded our camp through our song and through money out of our own pockets and through donations we received.
You're fundraising yourself.
Yeah, the government was not helping us at all.
There are federal grants for crime victims, but specifically for shooting survivors and the ongoing mental health needs of survivor communities, there's absolutely nothing.
Do you want to see the conversation nationally shift when it comes to what we're actually prioritizing and paying attention to in the aftermath?
We're becoming a trauma nation because the way the mathematics of suffering and trauma go, we talk about the dead always. We talk about the injured sometimes. We never talk about those people who watched other people die in front of them.
We just keep ticking off the places you can't go. You can't go to school. You can't go to college. You can't go to the grocery store. You can't go to Walmart. You can't go to the movie theater. I don't know what's left. And I don't know how we don't become a society of agoraphobes if we allow this to continue to happen.
If anything else was killing us at 100 people a day, you can bet both sides of the aisle would come together to solve that problem. Can you imagine if this was a virus I own and shoot guns, and yet I know that we can make everyone safer.
A lot of government officials just say, like thoughts and prayers. None of them want to accept that there are people who are left after these events feeling traumatized, because once they admit that, then they admit that there is a problem and they're responsible to fix it. The mental health of people who have gone through this is more important than the person who caused it.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.